Namaste and good morning. Welcome to the solaane.com Daily Brief, your daily dose of business news that matters. I'm your host, and today is Wednesday, April 2nd, 2026. Buckle up, because today was one of those days where the markets took us on a proper roller coaster ride. Let's dive in. First up, here are today's top headlines. 1. Sensex crashed 1,500 points this morning on Trump's Iran threats, then staged a stunning comeback to close in the green. 2. The government slashed customs duty to zero on 40 petrochemical products to protect manufacturers from the Middle East crisis. 3. Gold smashed through all-time records, crossing 1,52,000 rupees per 10 grams. 4. India's new Income Tax Act officially came into force yesterday, replacing the 65-year-old law. And 5. Manufacturing PMI dropped to a 45-month low as input costs hit their highest level in 3.5 years. Let's take a deeper look at the big story of the day, the market crash and recovery. If you checked your portfolio around 11 a.m. today, you probably needed a cup of chai to calm your nerves. The Sensex plunged over 1,500 points. That's a 2% drop, after reports that President Trump may continue military operations in Iran, with his quote about sending Iran back to the Stone Age rattling markets worldwide. But here's what's interesting. While global markets barely flinched, the S&P 500 was actually up over the past 5 days. Indian markets reacted far more sharply. Our volatility index, the VIX, surged to 27.9 in March, its largest monthly jump in 6 years. Why? Because India imports 85 to 88% of its crude oil, and much of it flows through the Strait of Hormuz. Brent crude is now at $112 a barrel, up over 60% since the tensions escalated. That's a direct hit to our economy. The good news? Markets staged a remarkable recovery in the afternoon. The rupee strengthened, IT stocks rallied, and the Sensex clawed back all its losses to close about 180 points higher. HCL Tech Mahindra, and Tata Consumer Products led the charge. For business owners, the lesson is clear. Don't make panic decisions based on morning headlines, but do prepare for continued volatility. Now, let's talk about something that directly affects manufacturers and MSMEs: the petrochemical duty waiver. The government moved quickly yesterday, completely waiving customs duties on 40 essential petrochemical products. This covers everything from methanol and phenol to polyethylene, PVC, and epoxy resins. Basically, the building blocks for plastics, textiles, pharma, automotive, and chemical industries. This duty waiver runs through June 30th and is a direct response to supply chain disruptions caused by the West Asia conflict. With crude oil above $110, petrochemical feedstock prices have been through the roof. If you're running a manufacturing unit, this is significant relief. Whether you're making plastic packaging, textile products, auto components, or pharma intermediates, your raw material costs just got a temporary breather. The smart move? Lock in your procurement at current prices while this window lasts. Don't assume it will be extended beyond June. Moving to your money, the new Income Tax Act 2025 officially took effect on April 1st. This is the biggest overhaul of India's tax system in 65 years. The old law had 819 sections across 47 chapters. The new one? 536 sections in plain language. Gone are the confusing terms previous year and assessment year. Now it's simply called tax year. For business owners and self-employed professionals, here's what matters. Your filing deadline has been extended from July 31st to August 31st. Meal vouchers up to 200 rupees per day are now tax-free for your employees. And Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Pune, and Ahmedabad now qualify for higher HRA exemptions. Good news if you're hiring in these cities. The income tax-free limit under the new regime remains at 12 lakh rupees. If you haven't reviewed your tax planning for FY27 yet, now is the time. Here's a number that should worry us. India's manufacturing PMI dropped to 53.9 in March, down from 56.9 in February. That's the weakest reading in nearly 4 years. Input costs, aluminium, chemicals, fuel, rubber, steel, all shot up to their highest levels in 3.5 years. The Middle East war is the obvious culprit. New orders slowed as clients turned cautious. But there's a silver lining. Export orders actually hit their strongest level since September, with demand coming from Japan, China, Europe, and North America. So, if you're an exporter, this is your moment. The global supply chain disruption is creating opportunities for Indian manufacturers who can deliver. Quick update on gold, it smashed through records today at $4,796 per ounce internationally. In India, 24-karat gold is now at 1,52,000 rupees per 10 grams. If you're in the jewelry business, your inventory just appreciated significantly. For everyone else, gold continues to be the safe haven of choice in uncertain times. And finally, a quick look at the startup world. Q1 2026 funding came in at $4.1 billion, down 23% from last year. Deal volume nearly halved, but three sectors are absolutely booming: EV, mobility, quick commerce, and deep tech. Euler Motors raised 437 crore for electric cargo vehicles, and fusion energy startup Pranos raised nearly 7 crores. The message is clear. Investors want real technology solving real problems, not growth at all costs plays. So what does all this mean if you're running a business in India today? First, brace for continued volatility. The Iran situation isn't resolving quickly, and every Trump statement will move our markets. Keep cash reserves healthy and avoid over-leveraging. Second, if you're in manufacturing, take advantage of the petrochemical duty waiver now. Lock in raw material costs before June 30th. Third, review your tax setup under the new Income Tax Act. The simplified structure means fewer compliance headaches, but you need to understand the changes. And fourth, if you're an exporter, lean into the opportunity. Global supply chain disruptions are routing more orders to India. Position yourself to capture that demand. That's your solaani.com daily brief for today. If you're thinking about buying or selling a business, head over to solaane.com. That's 16ane.com, where we make business deals sola ane paka. See you tomorrow.